Okay, so I definitely have to go see the movie Sinners. The last movie I went to go see was the anniversary for Purple Rain in the theater a couple of months ago, and they played the trailer for Sinners, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to see you. Very intrigued. And now, after listening to all the reviews for everybody that was giving on TikTok, I definitely want to experience in the theater. I don't want to wait for it to come on streaming. I'm excited. First of all, I'm excited because they're highlighting beautiful chocolate dark skinned women as love interests, not as the helpers or the mammies or the aunties, but actually voluptuous, sensual, wanted women in a different light. And I'm loving it. I can't wait to experience it. And I know that I was talking about sinners in my last video, but one, I love scary stuff. I love listening to scary, disturbing, scary audiobooks. Been a huge fan of Stephen King. I'm on a kick now that I'm trying to collect all of his books for my library just to have because I'm a huge fan. And he has to live forever, he can't die. I actually love his son's books as well. I started to read Joe Hill stuff as well. But I love just listening to horror. I love reading it with a magnifier. I love scary movies. I'm the type of girl, and Halloween is my thing. I love Halloween. I want to be emo 24/7. I'm gonna work on that. But just like the sinners, like I said, with dark, beautiful brown women being highlighted as a focus for love interest, I'm loving. Because when I was growing up, dude, talking about that, my self confidence took a big hit with everything. I was a loner. I had some friends, but I was in high school. Like I had one best friend and two other friends. But I went home, read, did art. I never went out really. I didn't get my first boyfriend until I was a senior in high school. I didn't go to dances. I just was very closed into my own little bubble, my own little world, and I was very safe there. But when I went out, I had incidents where people would call me, like from Color Purple, Celie, which for me, I was very hypersensitive about my dark skin and being black, and my parents put me in all like predominantly white private school and trying to navigate that space and just not feeling like comfortable or fitting in, just feeling othered. But even at home, like my mom's very light, and my dad is dark complected, and I looked like identical to my father, which now looking back as an older woman and feeling more confident and loving my body and loving the skin that I'm in, I love Whoopi Goldberg. I used to be compared to Grace Jones. I love Grace Jones, but as a little kid, I understood that that was seen as ugly and that I was the ugly girl, and my best friend was very light, soft hair. Uh, and I would never be that. So I just closed myself up. I remember like one of my jobs, my first like call center job, I was sitting waiting for my ride in a car of young men with water guns. Everybody was sitting there on the bus stop, everybody. Um, but they just shot the water at me and laughed, and people were laughing all around. Just like gut punch. It took me years to unlearn that self hatred and to unlearn. Like, even as a kid, I bought bleaching cream because I wanted so much to be lighter. I wanted so much to fit in, which I'm so embarrassed to say now. Obviously, I don't use bleaching cream anymore. Fuck that. I'm dark, and I'm gonna get darker in the summer, and that's okay. I love that. But yeah, I just like my childhood just shaped me to be this very meek and quiet and painfully shy person that I was scared to speak up and um, anything. But that's not the case now. If I have an opinion, you're gonna hear it. I'm gonna own my God made me in His image, right? So how can I hate my image? That means that I have no connection to my spirituality. So I quit that shit. I let that shit go. But I'm just happy to see different avenues of representing women of color of different ranges. I love to see my light skinned sisters, my brown sisters, and my dark melanated sisters being celebrated, because being a black woman is not easy. It's not easy at all. You're always judged. You're always expected to be a certain way. You have all these stereotypes, not only from your peers of other women, but also your black men and other races outside of that. So it's a struggle. So it's nice to be celebrated and not be talked down about and not be like, oh, this black women are ugly because of this. Who fucking cares? You know what? I don't even care about centering man anymore. That was my problem back when I was young. I was always centering, always thought that a man's perspective and opinion was more important than mine. And now, obviously, growing out of those growing pains and more educated and a lot of therapy, I respect me more and I've decentered men from my universe. So I do this for the girls. I don't care what men think about me. Okay? Am I ugly? Ugly. Okay, I don't care. But I feel good about myself. And that's all that matters. So that's why I'm so excited to see Sinners. Even in Color Purple, yeah, Celie was the meek and mild, but at the end of the movie, baby, I didn't ask you for anything. Remember that scene? She took her power. So, yeah. Peace out, guys. I'm not sure, but none of my sounds saved during this clip, so I gotta do a voiceover. But anyway, this is me before seeing the movie Sinners. Me just looking happy, jolly. Roxy chilling in the background, getting her sniffs. But I'm very excited to see this movie, and I couldn't wait to experience it. I've unfortunately heard a lot of videos about this already on TikTok, but I wanted to experience for myself and wanted to see how they do their audio description as a visually impaired person. I wanted to experience that, and I'll report back to you guys on how they did. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm all dressed, I'm all cute, and I cannot wait to see this movie, and I'll share my after once the movie's done. This is probably the antithesis of wearing a floral dress and butterflies in my hair to a scary movie. But I'm feeling very midsummer right now. Cut off his head. Burn him up.
Choose our seats?
Everything with X is taken.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, do you guys have audio description for that movie? Thank you. Okay.
I said theater 4, right, guys?
Yep.
Here you go.
All right, thank you.
And then on the side, you can turn it up as well.
Okay, cool. Need both of them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right,
And then once you get in the theater, it'll start working.
Okay, is one for one part of the movie and one's for the second? Or what
It's
is
just
it?
in case one doesn't
Oh,
work.
okay,
It'll
cool.
start
Okay,
working.
cool.
So, just got the movie back home. My first thoughts, incredible movie. Incredible movie. You know it's incredible when you ride in silence from the theater back to the house. I want to see it again, but because I have to rely on people to take me, I don't think that's going to happen. So I was savoring every single moment about it. There's a couple of pieces I want to touch on real quick. I haven't heard a lot of people with disabilities, like with if you're deaf you need closed caption, or visually impaired or blind you need audio description. I think this is more the theater issue than actually the movie, but they did have the equipment, audio description. And what audio description is, it explains the scene and everything in between what the actors are talking about. So it doesn't like talk over the actors. It's kind of just giving you all the fillers, what's going around, and the actors talk like as normal. That wasn't how this worked. The audio description basically was just headphones. I was hearing the movie as if it was normal. There was no like explanation in between the scenes. But the good thing with this movie, when you read a book, right? You don't know Roxy Ann. She's over there where she's not supposed to be. I need to see my babies. But anyway, like when you read a book, you don't know what anything looks like, but your imagination from the words creates your environment. And this is what saved this movie from not having audio description from AMC. I think, again, this is the theater's issue, not the movie. And correct me if I'm wrong and let me know if they do indeed do not have audio description set up for this movie. But just the sound design of this movie, I was immersed, and I created a whole world in my mind. I didn't skip a beat. The music, I cried several points of this movie. It's 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10. I'm definitely gonna get the DVD. I don't have that many DVDs. Very few movies I have DVDs on. Get Out, Nope, Us, and now I'm at Sinners once that comes out. So many levels, like the dance scene, the brothers, Stack and Smoke, Mary, all the characters. There's so many like symbolisms and meaning on everything. Like Ryan Coogler, every single item of this movie is for a reason. So I'm trying to like process. Like there's a lot of triggers in here. That was good. Like the religious trauma I have. My mom grew up as a Baptist. My dad grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. The two most different religions ever. But the religion aspect of this movie, the times we're living in and how they're trying to erase culture from different ethnicities and different races, and just knowing that we have that in ourselves is part of our roots, is part of our ancestry, is part of our culture, religion. Man. And even on the disabled side of it, it's like feeling othered, or even the part with the Klan and Remick. He's not part of the Klan. He made that very clear in the movie. He's like, hey, I draw the line there. But just Remick, he was such an awesome villain. Like, you understood his plight. Oh, no. It was amazing. I loved it. Please go see it. If I had the means, I would go see it again in a heartbeat. We don't have access to IMAX, but if you have IMAX in your city, in your town, and they're bringing it back, please go see it. Oh my God, this was amazing. I love this movie. It really, I don't know. For me to go back to see a new film, the last time I've been in a movie was for the anniversary of Purple Rain, and I really haven't been to the theater since then. After COVID, I had no with streaming and everything, I just didn't want to go to the theater. But for this one, I felt I had to, and you have to experience this in the movie theater. You have to experience it in the movie theater. I loved it. So I got comfortable. I forgot to mention, I wish there was someone I could talk to about this movie, but just the representation of dark skin, black women, voluptuous black women. I grew up with an eating disorder, always trying to be skinny because I tried so much to assimilate. And in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I definitely felt how it was to be a dark-skinned girl. Even in my dating life, people make comments, I didn't know you were into black girls. Just very passive-aggressive jabs at me, and I just became painfully shy and to myself. And I honestly think this is the first movie where there's dark-skinned women, Annie and Pearline, where they're not the victims in the beginning, and then they overcame something, and then they became this confident woman towards the end, like kind of like a Color Purple, silly type of situation character. And from the get-go, Annie was powerful. Annie was sexy. Annie was desirable. Pearline was desirable. Pearline was sensual, talented. I just loved being immersed in that and just smiling for a moment in the movie, just to believe that, it's okay. We're not the angry black woman. We're not the aggressive black woman. We're not the tropes and stereotypes that you see dark women. We're not the magical, sacrificial character to uplift another character of another race. I loved it. I love this movie so much. Oh, and the Indians. Oh my God, you guys were absolutely right. At the very beginning of the movie, they're like, I told you, your clan, peace out, God be with you. Oh man, that was amazing, because it's true. Why am I going to sacrifice myself for people that hate me? Peace out. I loved it. I also love the part where, Stack and Snoke bought the mill from the guy, and he was like, there's no such thing as the clan. The clan's long gone. Really, really, really parallels now that we're being gaslit. There's no such thing as racism. And I'm like, okay, so you think. And he was the grand of them all. He was the leader of them. He took their money and was going to go back and kill them. But at the end scene, spoiler alert, they had their comeuppance. So I loved it. Okay. I'm going to try not to speak, because there's so many other people out here that have their think pieces on this movie that are so much smarter than I am. I can't really articulate well but it's a guttural feeling that this movie just, so many levels, so many topics. The dance scene took me to another place. I cried, even though it was the colors they chose. Even though it was dark, I could still see images, and I could feel the passion of the music. I could imagine what Sammy was thinking, and the people around him, and the ancestors. Even though I couldn't really see it, took me to another plane.